Hello, everyone. I want to thank you for joining us today, whether it's a good morning, a good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are. We really appreciate you joining us today. We get really excited talking about CRM around here. So today we want to kind of take a step back because we want to get you just excited about CRM as we are. CRM, or customer relationship management, has evolved from simply tracking how your sales team interacts with customers and prospects to a huge essential business tool that really offers endless possibilities. And we got a great program to help you really understand a lot of what CRM can do. We're not going to give you the whole XYZs because that would just melt your brain, and there's endless possibilities. So we're going to take you back to the beginning there. A few housekeeping details today is everybody's in listen-only mode. So to make this flow, if you have any questions, there's a question pane in your control panel. Feel free to punch those in, and I'll try to address those as we go along. Any questions that are unanswered during this webcast, we will make sure we follow up with you and get you the answers that you need. As well as let you know this webinar is being recorded. So after this today, you'll be receiving an email from us with the link to the on-demand version that you can watch at another time, get a refresh, or we encourage you to share with others on your team as well. So before I introduce our presenter, Audra, I want to talk a little bit, just a real high-level overview of our company, LedView Partners. So at LedView, CRM is all we do, and we really focus on the relationship part of the customer management. We're a CRM consulting partner that represents Microsoft Dynamics CRM, a gold CRM partner with them. And we also do Salesforce, a cloud alliance partner with Salesforce. So we take a real agnostic approach to it. Established in 2007, and one of our prides here is that all of our consultants, our sales, everyone is CRM certified. So we live and we breathe CRM, not just Dynamics, but Salesforce. A little bit about us from our customer base, all over the United States, 45 states and counting, 3 countries. We've got over 300 customers across 25 different industries and specialize in everything from manufacturing and oil and gas and distribution to financial services and professional services, nonprofits, and so on. So closing in on 1,000 projects overall. And one of my favorite stats that I really love to share is our customer retention rate, and that's 98%. So it goes back to building those great relationships, and that's really what we're all about. So what we want to do is build that with you and share with you the ABCs of CRM. So to do that, I want to introduce Audra Carlisle. She is a CRM guru around here, and she lives and breathes this stuff every day. So we're very excited to have her on. So Audra, take it away.
All right, thank you, Chad. So again, as Chad mentioned, my name is Audra Carlisle. The sales team, or I'm an account executive here at LedView Partners, and I will be touring you through the product today. Again, as a reminder, as Chad mentioned, we do have a Q&A panel, so if you have questions throughout the presentation, certainly post those there, and we'll follow up with you the best we can during. If we can't get to everything, we'll follow up with you afterwards as well. So before we jump into the product, I thought it'd be best to kind of start with the base, or the building blocks of what is CRM. CRM is customer relationship management. It's a widely implemented model for managing a company's interactions with customers, clients, or prospects. It involves using technology to organize, automate, and even possibly synchronize business processes. The CRM is definitely more than just a tool or a piece of software. It's a business strategy. It's a way to integrate your technology, your business practices and processes, and combine them with the customer data to create a robust exchange of information and develop meaningful, beneficial customer relationships. So the better you understand your customers or your students, whatever it might be that you're tracking within the CRM system, so the more responsive you can be to their needs, that will ultimately help grow your business. So in today's demonstration, we'll be showing Dynamic CRM. So at a high level, Dynamic CRM enables dynamic businesses by providing the most productive and the most flexible CRM solution to improve the productivity and success of your employees. The areas that we'll be focusing on during today's demo are sales, marketing, and customer care. In addition, Microsoft's strategy is to provide the best user experience, giving users the ability to access through PCs or Outlook, the web, and mobile devices. So we call this CRM Anywhere. Microsoft realizes the importance of empowering your people with the data no matter where they are. And finally, Microsoft delivers cloud on your terms, meaning customers can choose Dynamics CRM online, on-premise, or even a hybrid model of a public or private cloud. So now let's get into the product and the building blocks of acquiring leads, building relationships, and closing deals. So let me go ahead and switch views here. For today's webinar, I'm going to be starting in the browser version of Dynamics CRM. And before we jump into the scenarios, I thought it'd be helpful to start with just a general navigation of overview of the product. So you can see here we're logged into the home page. And if I go up here into the ribbon and I want to navigate to the sales, marketing, or service area of the CRM, I can do that right from within this ribbon view. And then you'll also notice over here on the right-hand side, so when each user logs in, it will default to their username, the organization name, and then you can also do things like upload images or profile pictures to make it a little bit more personal experience. And each user also can set where they want their default or home page to land to. Now also notice there's a crate. This is called the quick create option. So if you quickly want to just add maybe a new lead or contact to the system, it's a nice fast way to get data into the system with a little less cumbersome form, if you will. There's also a global search feature. So if I wanted to maybe look up a certain lead, again, just by typing in a few letters, it will show me the different contacts or leads that are in the system that meet that criteria. And then last but not least, there's an advanced find. So this is a search tool that's a little bit more in-depth than the global search, but this you can pull in several fields of data that you might be searching for. So that's some general navigation information. So we're going to start inside of marketing, so around kind of the building block of A, of acquiring leads. In this scenario, we're going to work in the day in the life of a marketing manager. So in this section, we'll cover the ability to manage campaign activities, generate leads, qualify leads, and assign leads to the sales for follow-up. As a marketing manager, I like to start my day out in the dashboard feature of Dynamics CRM. This is how I can quickly see all of the important or relevant information that's going on in my department and kind of helps me get a pulse on the day. So you can see here, again, from within this dashboard view, I can view a list of information of the different campaigns that we have running and what type they are. So whether it's an advertisement or an event, I can see, my campaign budget versus actual. So it's important to me to be able to have some quick insight into where I'm at for my fiscal year spend. And then I can also see leads by source campaigns. So I can see, or I can make sure that, the campaigns that I have running are generating interest or leads for our sales team. And then most importantly, rounding that out is driving revenue from those campaigns. So I can see, again, what leads are being generated and how much opportunity revenue is being generated from each one of those campaigns. So then you can see how you can have charts of information within the dashboard, or you can also have lists. So I can see, for example, here, my activities that I might have that need to be completed today or even throughout the remainder of the week. So now that I have a good pulse on what's going on in the marketing area, I want to take a closer look at the leads. So if I go up into the marketing area, I'm going to navigate over to the leads area. And leads are considered they're a cold prospect, someone you haven't done business with and they need to be qualified. Leads can get entered into the system in a few different ways. One is you can create a new lead from scratch or kind of a manual process to entering that information in, or similar to the quick create. There is an import tool or wizard that comes with Dynamics. So if you have a list of leads, or perhaps you've been to a trade show or you purchased a list, you can use this import wizard to get the data in. And then the last option is the Outlook integration, which we'll cover at the end of today's demonstration, where you can convert an incoming email to a new lead. So those are the different ways that the data can get entered into the system. So now that I've taken a look at how many leads we have, or accounts or contacts, but what I want to do next is I want to build out a marketing list because we have a campaign coming up. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new marketing list. And since this is focusing on leads or companies that we haven't done business with before, I can give this a marketing list a name. So we'll just call this all leads. And then we can set the list type. So there's two options here. There's a static list and a dynamic list. A static is essentially a one-time list pull, whereas dynamic list is constantly evolving. So as new leads get entered into the system, they will dynamically or automatically get added to this marketing list for you. So you don't have to go back and do a list refresh or pull. As long as it's set up as dynamic, it's going to be kind of a living, breathing list that will constantly be adding new leads. And then the last required field here that we want to make sure is updated is who are we targeting. Again, we are going to target leads for this. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure this is saved before we move on. And now what I want to do is I want to manage members. So this is how I add people to this list. So I'm going to manage members. And then from here, again, you can search on multiple fields. So if you wanted to build the list to focus on a certain geography or state or province, you could do that. But for the sake of today, I'm just going to make sure that I'm pulling a list of all. I'm going to look at the status. And I want to make sure that I'm adding all open leads. And then what we can do is just go ahead and use this query. And then you'll notice here that once we have the query set up, it's added all of those members that met that criteria to this marketing list. So now that I have my list set up, I could utilize what's called the Quick Campaign feature inside of Dynamics CRM. A quick campaign is a communication method that creates a single activity for distribution to maybe myself or other team members. So for example, if I wanted to create maybe a quick call down to maybe the leads or a new prospective student, I can create that quick campaign and it'll distribute that phone call activity to the team members. The other option I have is to create a campaign for this list. A campaign supports an end-to-end marketing program that will likely have multiple activities or events associated into making that campaign a success. So now that I have my list set up, I've decided to host an event. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new campaign to this list. And I'm just going to do a quick search because I've actually have quite a few campaigns already set up. And so I'm going to grab the event campaign template. Go ahead and add that. And so from here, what I can do is I can actually just open up the campaign. And this is going to plan activities that have made this event a success. Let's take a look at how we can use Dynamics CRM to make the most of the leads that have been generated from this campaign. So it's our marketing manager, our marketing team's responsibility in this example for qualifying the leads and distributing them to the sales representative. So here's one of the leads that has been driven from this event. So let's go ahead and open up this lead record. So here you can see Campbell, and this is, again, we're in the lead record. And we can see where this lead source came from. And so it looks like an advertisement or event. We can give each lead a rating. It can be set on a rating system, hot, warm, or cold. And then you'll notice to each record there's a concept of a record owner. So I'm currently the one that's in here qualifying and developing this lead. So to qualify this lead, there's a couple of options that we can use. What you see here is this top ribbon. This is called the business process flow. So at this particular stage, as marketing to qualify this lead, here's the different stages or steps that we need to make sure to have complete. Again, if you have particular stages or steps within your organization, you can customize this or add in new steps within this process. I'm just going to minimize that. So that's one option to qualify, is use the business process. You can also use what are called dialogues. The dialogue feature can be utilized to guide or to walk users through the process of qualifying needs over the phone, for example. And what a dialogue would do is essentially give them the questions to ask and fill in. So it literally walks them through the process of that phone call. Or what I can do also, so I have the dialogue, or if I'm just going to manually go in and create maybe a new phone call for myself, I can use the activities area here to track that system. So we'll call this maybe initial phone call for qualification. And since I wasn't able to get a hold of Maria, I'm going to go ahead and just mark that as a left voicemail. So maybe since I didn't get a hold of her, I want to create a follow-up task for myself, again, creating that activity type record. So I follow up with her the next day. And then I can give that a due date. So that'll be my reminder to make sure that I qualify this particular lead record. And then there's other types of information too at the lead level that you can track. So we can see, again, who the lead is, maybe what their title is. You can also add in any particular fields, relationship types here within these forms. Dynamics CRM or Salesforce are easily customizable. So now throughout various phone calls, maybe email exchanges with Maria, ultimately where we end up with the lead is to either qualify or disqualify based on our marketing efforts. So based on my last conversation with Maria and their urgency for purchasing, I'm going to go ahead and qualify this lead so our sales team can work on developing the opportunity. So by doing, so in order to do that, up here within the top, you can see there's my either qualify or disqualify. You can even also add in a subset, of why they might be disqualified, lost, or you are no longer interested. Again, this helps from a reporting perspective as well. But I'm going to go ahead and qualify this, and you'll notice once I qualify this, it's going to go directly from this lead to an opportunity record. So I'm going to go ahead and qualify. And you'll notice here there's also duplicate detection rules that you can have set up behind the scenes to make sure you don't have duplicate data coming in. Since I know this is a new record, I'm just going to go ahead and hit continue. And then we've gone right from the lead into the opportunity view. So now at this point, what I could do is go ahead and assign this to the individual sales rep, or I can also have a workflow set up behind the scenes to automatically assign that to the appropriate sales rep. So just like that, we've completed a full marketing cycle for generating leads, creating a successful campaign event, and then distributing them to the appropriate salesperson for a follow-up. So at this point now, what we're going to do is take off the marketing hat, and we're going to put on the sales hat. So let's go into the sales area here. So in the sales scenario, again, kind of on the cusp of the building relationships and closing deals, in this scenario, we'll cover the ability to build relationships, track the opportunities that our marketing team is driving for us, and then ultimately closing those deals. So again, just like the marketing and sales, it's nice to have this dashboard feature. So you can, again, just see a listing of maybe activities, maybe my open opportunities that I'm working on, and any, again, maybe leads that have been assigned to me. And I mentioned earlier how you can actually interact with these dashboards. So what I thought it would be helpful to do is take a closer look maybe at the sales pipeline. So if I want to take a closer look at, what's driving this funnel or forecasted information. So with this customer, we have these different sales stages that we follow, qualify, develop, and propose. If I want to take a closer look at, what makes up this bottom part of the funnel, so just by selecting that chart of information, you can see here that it filters that information down for me in real time. So I can see, what that opportunity is, maybe the sales rep that's working on it, and the account information. Again, that's a nice way to be able to, in real time, see the data and then interact with it and filter it down for more information. So before I go into the opportunity that was created, I actually want to take a closer look at the Fabricam account record. So for me, in my particular sales role, it's helpful to know kind of what's going on within this organization before I start working on an opportunity with them. So here I am within the account record for Fabricam. And again, what it did when I converted that lead to an opportunity is it created an account record, an opportunity, and then it also created a contact for Maria Campbell. So again, what that's done is it's brought across all the account information, phone, so I don't have to duplicate my efforts. The system automatically transfers that information over to these records for me. So you can see just general account information, address. Dynamics CRM does integrate with Bing Maps as well, so you can from here maybe zoom in on the location, or if you wanted to get driving directions, you can do that from within here. And then you'll notice here in the central area too, similar to the leads, where you can create any new activities. You can see closed activities that have already happened with this particular account. And then it might be helpful to create notes maybe for certain meetings that you've had with the customer, and then once you create that note, you can select done, and it gives it a time, date, and stamp of who created that note and when. So again, the concept of when you open up an account record is that it should give you a 360-degree view of everything that's going on within that company. So we've seen some of the activities and notes, and then over here on the right-hand side is where you can have like subgrids of information. So again, I can see who the primary contact is. If we have multiple contacts within an organization that we're working with, that can show up here within the subgrid of information. I also have a view here showing me recent opportunities. So here's that opportunity that has been created for us. And then you can also have subgrids of like cases. So if our customer service team is working on something. So again, as a salesperson, I can come in and I can see, again, open opportunities, and I can see that it looks like there's a couple active cases that are going on within this account. So now that I have kind of a good idea of what's going on within the company, I'm going to go ahead and start working on this opportunity. So I'll open up the opportunity record. And so this is where the core of the features and this is what drives that forecast information and that pipeline chart that you saw within the dashboard. So once we're in the opportunity, this is really up to the individual salesperson to make sure everything is up to date. So I want to make sure I have my estimated close date. Again, if maybe that's going to push out into next month, I can go ahead and update that information. The estimated revenue, this can be done in a couple of different ways. You can see here this is actually locked down. You can either do a system calculated based on price list, or you can have it just a user preference where the salesperson would individually and just go in here and update the estimated revenue field. And then again, we can see who the individual salesperson is that's working on this. And then following those sales stages, so we've already qualified, we've been developing this lead, and now we're at the proposed stage. So we can see again what those complete are, what we're required to do at this level in order to make sure that we have everything completed. So make sure our sales process has been updated. And so then this is where we get into the core of the opportunity. So again, just our general summary information, any activities that have gone into driving or closing this business. If we have other stakeholders that are tied to this opportunity, we can track that. Maybe if we have multiple people on a deal, we can add, a sales team. And then we can also track things like competitor information, or if we know that there's competition in there. And again, this can drive any competitor win-loss reporting that you might want to do at the end. So we have kind of the base opportunity information updated. So inside of the opportunity, inside of Dynamics CRM, you can have the estimated revenue, like I mentioned, based off of price list. So again, where the revenue can be system calculated or user provided. So if I select system calculated, again, you'll notice that's where it locks down that estimated revenue field. And then what I can do is I can have price lists that I have inside of Dynamics CRM that I'm utilizing, or what other customers have done is integrated maybe the price list that they have set up in their ERP system. So I have my price list selected. It's going to be a system calculated. And then from here, what I need to do is I need to go ahead and add products to this opportunity or proposal. So I can either do an existing product and do a lookup, or I can do a write-in product. So I'll do a write-in, for example. Maybe this is going to be product B. We can give this a price per unit. So maybe this is $100 per unit. And this prospect or customer wants to order, let's say, 10 units. And you'll notice what it's going to do is it's going to update the extended amount, and then it's also updated the estimated revenue fields here for us. And then once I have my products added, what I want to do is I want to create a quote to send to the customer. So it looks like we already have one active quote down here, so I'm just going to go ahead and open up this quote. So each time a quote is created, it generates a quote ID and also a revision ID. So if you go back and maybe we want to revise this quote, and the customer wants, instead of, let's see here, instead of 1 unit, maybe they want to add an additional unit to this order. So again, it has updated the extended amount and the total amount here within the quote view as well. And so once we have everything validated here, we're going to go ahead and activate that. So again, that's going to lock down that pricing for this customer. And then from here, what you can do is you can print this quote for the customer. There's also a report where you can run an actual quote that you can either print as a PDF, or what we've done for other customers is added in a feature where you can email that to them directly. So you can do things like add in your logo, make this a little bit more professional looking and customer facing. But this is a nice way to be able to generate that report. And again, you don't have disparate systems of creating the quote maybe in a Word document and sending it to the customer. It's all tracked here within the CRM database. So we've sent the quote to the customer. If everything's been proposed, they agree. They're going to go ahead and order the two products here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and create order. And by doing this, you can have it set up in a couple of different ways where it notifies maybe accounting that you want to create that order within your accounting system to track that through invoicing. And then so we'll go ahead and create the order. We're going to put the opportunity we want that to be updated as one actual, one date. So again, maybe this came in on the 24th. And then what we can do is we can close the opportunity and make sure that that opportunity has also been updated with the calculated quote revenue since we updated the quantity. So go ahead and say OK. And so now we've gone all the way from creating the opportunity, creating the quote, sending that to the customer, and then to the order. So let's go back into the Fabricam account. So now if we just go into all of our opportunities that we had, So we can see here now there's no more recent opportunities because we've closed that as one. But if you wanted to have a status that showed all open, won, or lost, you can have that subgrid of information as well. And then as a salesperson too, maybe I want to see all of the opportunities. So again, you can go to listing of accounts, contacts, leads. So maybe I want to see all open opportunities that I'm working on. So again, just by navigating to the opportunities in the system, I can view those opportunities that have been assigned to me. So now we've taken our leads, we've qualified a lead, we've closed an opportunity, or created a quote, closed the opportunity, and now it's time to make sure that our customers are satisfied with our products and services and any customer service that they're going to get from us ongoing. So from here, I'm going to take off the sales hat. I'm going to go put on the customer service. So I'm a customer service experience manager, and let's go ahead and set this to the dashboard view. So from here, we can take a closer look at optimizing the customer experience. So during this scenario, we're going to look at case statistics, track and follow up with customers, and then manage caseloads with queues. So from within this dashboard view, I can see, let's make sure, let's do operations. So from within this dashboard view, I can see activities that my customer service or CSR agents are working on. I can see case priority by origin, so it looks like we have quite a few coming in by phone as well. And then there's one more view that shows high priority cases that I really want to focus on. So here we can see the case by mix. So we have high, normal, and low. So it looks like, you know, we have more high cases than I would like at this point in the day. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to expand this view out. And again, I want to filter this down to just the high priority customer cases that have been entered. And since that volume is a little bit high and it's one individual working on it, I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of cases, and I'm going to add them to a queue. And I already have a queue set up for high priority cases. So now from within that, I can take that high priority, assign them to the queue so that multiple people can start working on those and take care of some of the backlog that's gone on within the customer service department. So again, this dashboard just gives me, from the customer service area, again, just a good pulse on what's going on. So from here, what I want to do as a customer service agent is I want to go ahead and look at all the cases that have been assigned to me. So here I can see my active cases. From within this view, you can also see maybe if there were phone calls, emails coming in. So let's go ahead and open up the case. So when a case is created in the system, it will automatically create a case ID. And this number might be something you email to the customer. You have a workflow set up to send a customer an email with the case assigned, who it's been assigned to, and their case ID. So if they do call in, the customer service rep can easily find the information. You can also give this, you know, what type of subject is it? Is it a query? Are they looking for more information? Maybe it's a problem with a specific product. Again, we can see who the customer is, and you know, we can set the origin. So maybe this was an email that came in. You can also track, you know, contacts, or if you have any entitlements or service level agreements based maybe on different bronze, gold levels, you can set up those within the case area as well. And those SLAs might be subject to a certain turnaround time or follow-up based on, you know, when a case is entered. And then similar to the business process flow for opportunities, you can also have those within the case area. So here within this particular case, you know, we've identified, we want to make sure that we, you know, update who the customer is. This is, we'll do a quick lookup here. Let's make sure we pull the right contact record. This is Scott. Now we've added the appropriate contact, and then we want to go ahead and we want to research or look maybe for similar cases. Maybe this is something that's happened for other customers. So just by selecting that find, what this does is it looks for similar cases, and it gives me the steps to help troubleshoot, this with Scott, maybe some steps that we can try and utilize to troubleshoot before escalating to another CSR rep. So we'll go ahead and say, we've walked through this, we've found a solution, and again, maybe we want to track that phone call with Scott. Go ahead and select OK. And this can also keep track of any time that's going into resolving this case as well. So we have our activities associated with the case level. We can see customer details. We can also see that this customer has quite a few recent cases. One's been resolved, but there's a few other active or outstanding cases. So maybe at this time, too, I can take the opportunity to look into some of these other cases that are going on within this company. So once we have our case set up, again, finally, at the end of all the troubleshooting phone calls, we want to make sure, again, that we've updated all the appropriate fields of information before closing. So we can either cancel this case. Maybe it was a customer error. They figured out the answer before we were able to call in. But in this case, we put in some time and effort to this. So I'm going to go ahead and resolve this case. So then it gives me a couple of other things I want to make sure that are updated. So what was the resolution type? You can also give a description field if you want more information. If you're tracking billable time, this might come into the SLAs or contract scenario. So here we can just go ahead and update this to 15 minutes to resolve this case. And then the last area that I wanted to go to that we just touched on here at the beginning of the customer service scenario was the concept of the queues. So queues are what I call holding areas of information. These holding areas or queues need some type of action or follow-up. Queues can really be used for any entity in the system, even outside of cases, so whether it's opportunities, activities, but they're most impactful when used within the customer service module. So again, we had a few cases that were in that high priority segment earlier. We added those to this particular queue. So we can see here if we had multiple queues within the system, we can go ahead and grab that information. So again, I'm just going to focus on the high priority ones for now. But what I can do is, so if I log into the queue, I look at the high priorities, what I can do is I can actually select one of those cases. I can pick it from the queue, and what it does is it will assign that to myself or a particular agent, and then it will also remove it from the queue. And by doing that, it alleviates or eliminates multiple people working on one case at any given time. So we've covered a lot of information here. So from marketing, generating the leads, qualifying the leads and sales, and then making sure through the cases and queues that the customers are being taken care of. The last component that I wanted to review, and it's actually applicable to all departments, is the Outlook integration. So regardless of my role, like I said, I probably start and end my day, as I do every day, inside of Microsoft Outlook. It's my one-stop shop to access all of my contacts, emails, calendar, and it even gives me a seamless interface to access all of my CRM data. So there's a free plugin tool that you would install on the individual laptop or machine that brings this CRM data inside of Outlook. So over here on the left-hand side, you can see you have your standard Outlook structure, but then we can see here is a set of dynamic CRM information. So what I can do is I can navigate down into, let's just say, the sales, for example, and maybe I want to look at the contacts that we have in our CRM database. So ultimately, where you end up is a view, and a view is just a listing of your CRM data. And again, what we're looking at here are my active contacts. So you notice if you select another record, over here on the right-hand side is a preview pane of that information that just gives more details on what you're tracking to at that individual contact level. Inside of Outlook, you can also have multiple views open. So if I wanted to maybe see a view of all active contacts, I can create or set up that view. I also have the ability to pin these views. And what this does is it becomes a part of my user experience. So every time I come into Outlook, I go down to sales and contacts, these views will automatically open up for me. So again, you can see here we can access literally all of the CRM data, so whether it's contacts, dashboards, case information, you don't have to leave Outlook to get to that. So again, being able to access through browsers, your PC or Outlook or mobile devices. The other item that I wanted to touch on is the email integration component. So if you get an email and it's something that maybe you want to keep track of for historical purposes, what you can do is open up that incoming email, and you'll notice up here in the ribbon, here's my set of CRM options. Again, if I want to keep track of this email, and what it does is it tracks any correspondences or emails back and forth to this related record. So if I wanted to look into CRM, what was going on, I can see those email exchanges there. I could also further set this regarding maybe a specific opportunity or customer case. I could do that. And then like I mentioned at the beginning of the demo too, where you can convert any incoming email to a new opportunity. Maybe customer service wants to create a new case based on the email inquiry, or you can create a new lead. So I'll just show you what that option looks like if you were to select the lead record. And then also when you reply to an email, you'll notice there's a new subset of options. I can do things like insert a template. So for example, maybe this is someone I haven't heard from a while. I have a template created out on the CRM database, a reconnect one. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab that template. And then what it's going to do is it's going to go out, ask CRM to pull that information in for me. And it's asking me now if I want to replace the existing subject line with the subject line in the template. So by selecting OK, you'll notice that it's updated the subject line for me. It's also updated the body of the email. I still have the ability to go back in here if I want to edit any of this. Even though I'm using a template, I still have the flexibility to do that as well. You can insert a template. You can insert articles. Again, this would be from the customer service standpoint. So if you have maybe a common issue with someone has a wrong shipment, you can have an article created and to send that to the customer to kind of walk them through the steps of what they need to get a replacement product. Or you can also store and manage all of your sales literature within your CRM environment as well, so you can attach those documents here within an email. So once we have everything set up within the email and the template, I can go ahead and send this email out. And now, again, that we have that email tracked within the system, so this tracking component is a nice way to be able to ultimately delete this email and keep things filed away nicely in your inbox, hopefully a little bit cleaner. And then the last component too here is offline capabilities. This question comes up quite a bit. So maybe you're in a flight or on the plane, you didn't want to purchase that Wi-Fi on the flight. What you can do is you can take this offline, and it basically does a snapshot of the CRM data. So you can still access all the information. Maybe you want to upload new contacts that you met within that meeting today. And then once you land and have that connectivity again, you can go back online. So that concludes the ABCs of Dynamics CRM. So again, we've covered a lot within the building blocks from acquiring leads, building relationships, and closing deals. We have a couple of action items here from the call today. So if you'd like to request a free 30-day trial, there is that available. Either type that in the Q&A panel, or I have my contact information up here, so please feel free to reach out to me directly if that's something you'd like to have set up. Secondly, if you'd like to schedule a more customized or personal kind of deep dive into either the sales, marketing, or service area that we've covered today, or if you'd like more information on features like email marketing automation, social listening, or things like the unified service desk for customer service, we can certainly schedule that with you. And always, too, if there's other questions that come up afterwards, please be sure to write my information down, reach out to me directly. So those are a couple of the action items, and then we also have some additional resources. I always recommend going out to our website, ledgeviewpartners.com. Once you're there, you'll notice there is a video that you can play just to get to know us a little bit more. And you'll also have to check out our blog, subscribe to that. We're adding content to that daily. And last but not least is, follow us on social media. We have Twitter, YouTube, where we'll be uploading a recording of today's webcast. So with that, Chad, I will turn it over to you to close out today's session.
Great. Thank you very much, Audra. Really appreciate that. Was quite a bit of information for only an ABC. So we'd be here all day, all week, all month if we went the whole alphabet. So great job. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Really appreciate it. Hope you took away some valuable information regarding CRM and the value that it can provide your organization. And there's, again, endless possibilities that you can do with that. Any questions beyond what you learned today, clarifications, please feel free to reach out to us. Again, look to your email inbox this afternoon. You'll be receiving an email from us with the link to this presentation on demand that you can watch at your leisure and share with your team. So thank you very much. Really appreciate it, and have a great day. Bye.